Hey YouTube, and welcome to another episode of Tech Today. Now, as you know, Apple just recently released their second generation iPad Pro with their fastest silicon yet, the A10X Fusion chip. Today, we're going to take a look and see just how much faster this is than the A9X chip in the last generation iPad Pro. Let's dive in. Alright, I've got both iPads next to each other. The first generation iPad Pro is on the left. The second generation is on the right. The first thing we're going to do is a boot test. So I just flip the surge strip, turn them on, and they're off. Looks like the first generation actually turned the screen on first. That doesn't necessarily mean anything for how fast it'll actually boot into the OS though. They're both running the latest beta 2 of iOS 11, so keep that in mind while we're doing these tests, because they'll change over time. Wow, the first generation's done first. Let me just put in my password here. And now we'll just sit and wait for the second one to finish. This is actually really surprising to me how much longer this is taking. Is it done? The screen just turned off. It doesn't seem to be doing anything. How odd. I'll just press the button. Oh, yeah, it's on. Well, significantly longer wait time. That's really surprising. Alright, the next thing we're going to do here is run a Geek bench test just to see how the two processors compare in terms of the raw numbers. So we'll run the CPU and the GPU compute test. We'll start off with CPU. I'll try to start them at the same time here. Oh, there's one more. Okay. 1, 2, 3. And I missed. Oh well. Okay, we'll just let these run. Just a few more seconds left on the second gen. And even though it got a late start, it's still finished before the first gen. Looks like we have a single core score of 3891 and a multi-core score of 9233. Compare that to 3154 single core on the first gen and 5307 multi-core. That's that extra core really kicking in the multi-core score there, and a pretty significant boost in the single core performance as well. Alright, now I'll go ahead and kick off the GPU compute test, and we'll get a good comparison of that as well. And unsurprisingly, the second gen wraps up first again with a combined score of 29,344. Wow, compare that to the 15,138 on the first gen. That's almost double the graphics performance. And that's again thanks to the additional core on the A10X Fusion chip. That's a really, really significant graphics performance boost. And I'm sure that was required in order to get the 120 Hz on the new display. So in order to get a really good idea of the graphics performance of this new iPad, I'm going to run the Antutu benchmark here. Not only is this a really good comparison test for graphics performance on mobile devices, it's also really fun to watch. Alright, looks like they're just about wrapping up here. The second gen iPad kind of pulled ahead throughout the whole test, and now it's at 97% with the iPad first gen at 95%. Oh, there we go, all done. Oh, and now of course it's going to display in portrait mode here. Okay, let me get the iPads rotate so you better look. I'm not sure exactly what this is measured in. These units are not exactly English. But it's still really good for comparative purposes. So let's take a look here. 237,079 for the second gen versus 180,436 on the first gen. Not quite as close to double the performance as the Geekbench showed. But even if you just watch the test run, I know I'm going to speed it up in post, but there was a lot less stutter in the second gen than in the first gen when doing the 3D rendering. Next up is a couple real-world performance tests. I'm going to start by launching Minecraft here. And we're going to try to generate a world and see which one's faster at that. Start a new game. Oh, I got a world, that's fine. Create new. Random should be fine, I think. Yeah, random's fine. Okay. Oh, and one more screen. Okay. And yeah, that looks fine. Okay. And okay. Wow. That's actually pretty fast. Much faster on the second gen than the first gen. Okay. Well, I guess it tells us that. There we go. Oop. The next thing I'm going to do here is launch the TV app and start a movie. So we give this a second to load. Come on. This is the first time I've launched this app. Yeah, first I've launched this app since installing the latest beta. Both of them are actually pretty slow at pulling up the TV app. And let's watch Steve Jobs. Oh, that's a weird glitch up there in the corner. Okay, and play. I think it's loading. Or do I need to tap on it? Oh, no, it's loading. Alright, oh. Yep, it's working. I should turn the volume off on this, but it's playing. Alright, let's try the next test. Oh, get out of there. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is try to load a YouTube video. So let's pull up YouTube. And nope, do not want YouTube right now. And of course there's not going to be a similar video to select. So I guess I will just have to try to launch two random ones here. And yeah, that was pretty much the exact same second. So both of those are plenty fast enough. Okay. Oh, and hello? I think we found a glitch. Come on, iOS 11. There we go. Oh, great. Now it's freaking out. Well, at least the second gen doesn't freak out like that. Okay, and the last thing I wanted to look at was just general UI interaction, and the settings app is a good place to do that. Launch a little bit faster on the second gen, but what I'm really looking for is just any stuttering or fluidity issues when scrolling through lists. And besides the obvious 120 Hz display looking beautiful, they both seem to be performing pretty equally in terms of that. Let's just click on something here. There we go. Yeah, it seems pretty consistent. One more. Yeah, that was both exactly the same. So UI seems to be pretty good in general across both devices. Alright, so in pure numbers alone, the new iPad Pro is almost twice as fast as the old one, although it doesn't necessarily seem to translate into day-to-day usage. It is important to remember, though, that we're on a beta of iOS 11 right now, and a really early beta at that. So as Apple moves forward and squashes some of the bugs, performance is going to increase dramatically, and I'll make sure to put an update video out around September when Apple releases the public release of that operating system. But thank you for watching. Stay tuned, I have a lot more coming.